All right, so Alma. Oops, I pulled Alma out of there for some reason. There we go.
What's going on here?
What?
Did this put this one here?
I wanted to show you this, guys. To see what you think about it, because I thought it was hilarious that
what is happening right
this
now?
pastor got so upset because there was a sword swallowing in a conference, in a Christian conference. I don't know.
Whoa.
There's a lot of innuendo there.
Lose our monetization in the first slide. Damn. I don't know if we can talk about sword swallowing off rip.
I thought priests would appreciate.
Gotta stop those sword swallowers.
Oh Jesus, Ollie. Not you.
Yeah, I think I think that's a little on the hypocritical side, I guess.
How does he know this was something that you would see at a strip club?
Got him.
Yeah.
Critical thinking wins again.
Listen here. I read it in the Bible.
Somebody told me.
Yeah,
it's like the woman caught in the act of adultery. It's like, wait a minute, how did you catch this particular act?
Yeah, how was you there?
Where were you at?
Funny you
he's
happen
getting
to be
his sword swallowed.
You happen to be all the way. You're always in the adultery spot at the right time. You know,
at the right time.
How are you always the first eyewitness on the scene? It's just strange to me.
Like, and how much of it did you watch? Like, did you wait to confirm?
How many acts did you see?
All right, that's enough of that. So, anyways, welcome to the after party, everybody. Of course, we got the guest of honor. Darante's with us, my co-host and pretty much brother from another mother, Mr. Mikey Famian, is with us.
Howdy, partner.
Lovely. My girlfriend Alma is with us.
Oh,
the superhero Swede is with us, and of course my other brother from the other coast, Mr. Canadian Ollyman, is also with us.
How we doing?
Hey.
I would like to wish everybody.
For fuck's sakes.
I would like to. Well, Ollie, I was going to say that, and then you had to. I have rollouts for my ideas. I would like to wish everybody a Merry 420, aka
right,
Marijuanica.
Marijuanica.
Now, do we have to light 8 joints?
Hot knives.
Yeah,
the most high.
Yes, to be that you must to serve the Most High. You must be most high.
That's right.
Hanukkah is the celebration of lights. Marijuanica is the celebration of heights.
Heights, yes. Where the glory fills the room so much so that the priests cannot stand to minister.
That's smoke, man. Smoke.
Or marijuana.
Reminds me the one time some guys in a Catholic church in Mexico, they just put pot in the the thing that they
the decanter.
Loving this story already.
The little incense bomb. Oh, that's
I like that. I'd go to that
amazing.
church.
Yeah,
every time.
They go through all the communion wafers in one Sunday.
Interesting. Like, we have a marijuana church in Alabama. Like, this is a small church in northern Alabama, but Alabama had this weird law that they put on the books to keep them from having to do gay marriages. And so it like reinforced religious rights. So these people decided to say, well, cannabis is our religious right. And so now the state can't do anything against them.
That's right. You're talking about Rastafarians, right?
No, what I wish it was Rastafarians. That's actually a pet peeve for me because Rastafarians are anti-organization. So they won't organize around their beliefs to get those types of privileges. You know,
on.
So unfortunately,
God would not like if we go organizing with the government. We can't.
exactly.
We
Not
can't be
with
doing that.
Babylon, man.
No, no, we don't need permission from the man to tell me that the herb is right.
That's it. That's
My body in the sky tells me already.
Nope. This group is really a bunch of white hippies, like from Disjointed. It's just like,
Hi, Miss Parker.
Howdy.
Hello.
Miss Parker was a guest a little while back. Welcome back. Good to see you.
Yeah.
someone's having a good time.
Yeah, that'd be
I
Ollie.
realized I haven't
Ollie,
come up with
yeah.
a stoner haiku for today. I'm trying to think of.
Well, their
Thinking.
brain's about to turn off, so.
All I can hear is that thing.
Yes, it's like ASMR.
Yeah.
Ollie, that's
It's
not
weed
that
SMR.
actually.
They
That
should do
actually
a
might
bong
be.
rip ASMR.
That's what I'm thinking here. Maybe Ollie, with all of his different like accoutrements, he could totally have a whole set. He's got a decent microphone. He could just be like rolling the joint, but then you hear all the crinkles. Yes, please.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, baby.
You have to do a little bit of crinkly.
Yeah. The flick of the lighter.
Out of the bag.
You can hear the crackle as the cherry burns through the blunt. Like that might be a thing. Ollie, we might be onto something. Have your people talk to my people.
Oh my!
Coming soon to the Bin podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Can I drop for like 2 seconds to go get my utensils?
Never.
Sure.
Of course.
Absolutely
Yes.
not.
I'm gonna
Are you wanting to compare utensils?
Oh no, here we go.
Here's my Gandalf pipe, right? And that's just the
Oh,
one I use.
I'm jealous. I am like madly,
Jealous.
biblically jealous right
Pull them out, Ollie. It's your day.
Ooh, that's saying
Your
something
day,
right there.
Ollie.
now. Right?
It's Ollie's day to show off.
I have
The wrath
three
of
more them.
Durante.
Oh, snap.
Why isn't one of those in the fucking mail for me yet?
Right?
Dude, I ordered them from just down the street from you. Just we'll drop into the store and buy one, would you? Fuck.
Ollie over here, like, dude, I ain't paying shipping. The hell? It's from you. It's from down the road from you. Hell no.
All right. I'll go down to the shop and check it out.
Embarrassingly enough,
There's two of them right down the road from me.
my wife knocked my bowl out of my hand and shattered it in the garage. It happens. I'm not mad. I was like, okay, I'll go get another one. I almost broke that motherfucker. The exact second I got home, I was like, shut up. I just got back. So the guy saw me in the store twice. This guy saw me in the store twice, and I was just like, I broke it. I don't know what you. I know you're looking at me like I'm supposed to have a story. The story is it's broken. Okay,
It's broken.
and I'm getting another one. Don't worry about. Just, I know I didn't want that one yesterday, but I want it today.
Yep.
But I did get to make my own bong a couple times.
God damn it, Ollie.
That pizza looks good, but I just
Oh my
like
God.
food.
It's so hot.
I definitely like hot food. Hot food is always nice.
Wait,
Mikey, the food on the 8th floor of the United Center is
It's not some slop together boiled hot dogs that they got for
there.
this.
There was somebody there that would put together a full Chicago dog for you.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, except
That was it was a good night. Put it that way. I was full when I left.
Which is rare at a sporting event.
Yeah, yeah. I was in Chicago for a conference, and we had penthouse suite for.
Does it come
for
with the
the game.
models from the magazine or what?
Ooh, I remember the house. Larry Flint, right?
That was Hustler.
Alex Hustler. Okay,
Hustler.
yeah.
Don't ask me how I know this.
Have you ever seen this movie?
Somebody told you.
Yeah,
The movie about him?
yeah. Somebody told
Like
me this.
that was one of the straws of my deconstruction, watching how Christians treated him. It was very interesting. Like that's how he ended up in the wheelchair, right? It was like a believer who ended up shooting him.
Yep.
And that, like, as a believer at the time of watching that, I was horrified that Christians would do something like that. Like, wait a minute, that's not what we're supposed to do, is it?
Nope.
Are we the bad guys?
I see tons of mice in the chat. Tons, we're keeping an eye out for you. So we're just.
X-Men 97. Yes, I have been watching that. I am an X-Men fan, except for,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if y'all know, X-Men like spouted a lot of Christian belief in those cartoons. Like Charles Xavier was preaching a lot to people about being close to God and trusting in Him. It was like, when I see it now, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where did this come from?
To be honest,
I know.
At that age, if it didn't have fucking lasers coming out of it, I wasn't really interested. So fucking save the boring shit, Professor Baldy. Where's fucking Gambit, bro? No one gives a shit. Boo, motherfucker. You ain't my mama. Shut your bald ass up. Get out of here.
I'm very, very upset though with the last couple episodes.
Really?
Oh yeah.
How did that come through? Was that?
I think I got to catch up.
Oh, buddy, yeah.
Catch up.
Jesus was a mutant.
Dude, I don't know. You trying to catch up with me?
I'd watch that story. I'd watch that movie.
Oh, have you seen the
Teenage
one where
Mutant Ninja Jesus? I'd watch that.
there is an anime that is Jesus and Buddha.
No.
Oh yeah.
They share an apartment.
No, that's not where my mind went. Jesus and Buddha in an apartment?
Yes.
Do they have
That's
jobs?
a sitcom. At that moment, that's a sitcom.
Do they work?
Like Seinfeld is somewhere in this show.
Yeah, like every time like Saul walks in, like the audience claps, like
yes.
Yeah.
No, Krishna.
Right, there we go.
Oh man.
Krishna walks in, everybody claps. There are 8 arms.
What's up with all the deities?
Muhammad walks in, but he's like blurred out.
Oh yeah. Nobody
so
can see
good.
him.
No, it's not that he's blurred out. It's J.J. Abrams is directing it, so there's lens flare over his face.
You can never see his face.
Just a big
I
black
hope people
It's
get
like-
how genius
it's like
that
Wilson.
joke was.
It's like Wilson
Yeah.
from fucking Tools
Defense.
or Mike Myers'
Darante.
butt during fucking
Mikey? I
Holy
have it.
snap.
What
I
the?
have the images.
Oh yeah. The it's
That
called
is
it's
freaking
the anime. It's a
Alien
movie,
That's the bowl.
and it's called
That is
Uh,
beautiful.
Saint Young Men. Right there.
Arr.
What?
Jesus and Buddha anime. This is all.
Yep. Saint Young Man. It's called, or Saint
It's
Young
like
Man. It
David.
started
It's
out
a
as
David
manga.
and it's a David and Jonathan situation going on here. I just know it.
Look at the
I
Shin,
just-
look at the Shinto Buddhists mock you guys.
Well, there's a park in Japan where Jesus came back and lived after the resurrection, and
Yeah.
So there's Mormons in Japan, is what you're telling me?
sort of. Sort of.
Holy crap.
I've decided that for my 40th birthday, I will spend it in Tokyo.
Oh, that sounds fun.
So if you guys, you got 3.5 years, get your coins together. I don't want to
Oh,
hear
I'm coming.
I don't
I'm
want to
coming.
hear
Where are
no
we going?
bullshit. We're going to Tokyo. I don't want to hear
Tokyo.
no bullshit.
Hey,
I don't
look,
want to
if
hear
you're
no
paying, I'm
excuses.
coming.
No,
If-
I'm not
if-
paying for shit.
If I'm
Everybody
paying, I'm
get-
stuck.
We're all gonna go at the same time. I ain't paying for nobody.
Look, if
Yeah,
I'm
man.
paying, I think I'm going to be stuck right here. I think, I don't know if I have Tokyo travel money yet.
Yeah.
3 years.
You got 3.5 years. I'm only
3.5
36.
That
years
is
for
true.
Tokyo money.
That
Holy
is
fuck.
true.
I'm only 36. So when I turn 40,
Oh,
we're going.
oh, damn. Okay, yeah. You
Shit, I saw Jen in the chat. Jen was in jail.
Cool.
Jim
That's
was in
not
jail.
our fault.
I
Why?
don't think it's our fault.
got out of jail yesterday. Oh, okay.
Oh man, that reminds me. Like when I heard the thought saying just Jim was in jail, that made me think of someone was telling me they were like, "Oh well, you know, you got to believe that Jesus was alive and that he was crucified during this time." And I'm like, sure, I could believe that. That's just like believing that somebody named Mike was alive around now and got killed with the death penalty. It's really easy to believe. It was a really common name. That doesn't say anything else. It doesn't give me anything else. Telling me there was a guy who had a common name who died a common way around the time where other people died that way. It's not that much of a special story.
The church was very nice. They didn't just, put everybody up on a pig pole that they could fucking get their greedy little hands on. They didn't just senselessly murder everything that was slower than them.
I have one of my friends tell me that they have a theory that Jesus was Mexican.
Okay.
Ooh, Jesus.
Because he
I
was 30 and still living with their parents. Also has 12 friends who were drinking with them all the time.
I'm not laughing at that.
Alma, that's already covered by the Jewish thing, right?
Y'all are not allowed to laugh at these. Y'all are not Mexican. Y'all better not be laughing. We are not Mexican. That is not our joke. We have to listen and say,
that
"Wow,
is not our joke." I love that.
We have to be fair.
My favorite Mexican joke is
Here we go.
Is everybody talks about the pyramids in Egypt and how nobody believes the Egyptians would build them, and the alien theory and everything else. There's like 1,000 pyramids in Mexico. And nobody questions who builds those.
And nobody's saying shit
that
about
one
that.
hurts. That one hurts.
We can't have nothing.
Like, hey, them black folk didn't build no damn pyramids.
They're literally in Africa. Like, they're literally in Africa. It's like, well, maybe Africans made it. Motherfucking aliens made that shit. No way Africans made that motherfucker.
Well, that's how you saw African building the pyramids.
Hell
Stop
no. You know what kind of technology it would take? Look at them.
Man, that is hilarious. Oh my goodness.
Ain't no way. Must have been the people from Xanadu.
That's it. It's always like anytime it's black people, it is aliens, unless it's Polynesians, because then we don't consider them black. It's just no, Polynesians are different. They're good. They're good. Even though their island is named Melanesia, you don't get more melanated than that,
AKA the Rock. I realized because baby girl loves to watch Moana, and like claps for certain songs and like likes her little parts in there. And I just realized, this is just an origin story for The Rock.
That is hilarious.
This is him. This is his origin story.
Well, goddamn, this is how we got The Rock.
I'm like, you're Maui. You're Maui. You had the people loving you, and then they didn't love Maui. You're Maui.
But isn't every Rock movie the origin story of The Rock?
Scorpion King, yes. Checks out. Jungle Book, or no? What was it? Jungle Book?
Yeah, Miss Parker says aliens hate white people because they only help brown people to build pyramids.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Reparations.
Yes.
That is hilarious.
Space serrations.
Well, that's how black people knew that ghosts didn't exist, because if they did, America would be haunted as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
As figgity fuck. Like bad.
Figgity fuck?
It would have been a bad day.
This country is so messed up. It's almost like it was developed on an Indian burial ground.
Right. So cursed.
Don't go into the light.
This house is clear.
Here.
Back.
Oh, hi, Alan.
I see that people.
Oh, everyone behave. Dad's back.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think I'm gonna go Marijuana now.
Marijuana.
Yeah.
Ramahana Kwanzmas.
Cheers.
Because I think it needs like the pillars thing and like all the like. So like the first day is like internet conspiracy theory videos pillar. and you just like that's the first day you celebrate, and then there's like a old movie day, movie you forgot about, and then I think on 420 it's mandatory everyone has to watch Friday.
Friday?
Really? I've not watched Friday in years.
You ain't got shit to do.
Actually, I've been tired on my day off before, so I should
have no job.
You ain't got shit to do.
Do you know next year Easter is going to be on 420?
I know it's gonna be lit.
Yep.
Really?
You're gonna be smoking out
I'm
eggs,
gonna
baby.
try and talk my mom into smoking some pot with me.
Yes.
Get out of
It
here.
really does
I'm
make
gonna
the
try.
world a better place.
I should get my mom.
I know
to
she'll be
smoke.
having some wine probably that weekend, so I might be able to talk her into it. I don't know.
Yeah, let's get a little cannabis in this.
Or give her someone that you can
I
get
can't
like
smoke in here. You guys are pissing me off now.
The Christians were so mad about the Trans Day of Visibility being on Easter this
saw
year.
that.
Wait till the amount of smoke coming out of churches next year.
Oh, man. They're going to think it's the glory of the Lord. They're going to see it as the return of the Most High.
It's the burnt offering.
It is. Well, this whole
Do I have to
religion
remind
is
them that
built
it's
around a guy
It's
having
the
a conversation with
property
a burning
of
bush.
the devil. Property of the devil.
like you did literally put burning bush in like chapter 2. Like that's not our
But
fault.
this is it. This is
Yeah.
guy has a conversation with a burning bush. All hell breaks loose. This is the Bible. This is
It's
it.
not my fault. This
And
is
then he
y'all.
hallucinated.
Right.
Which mind you,
In the words of the
this
great
is a little
mystical,
fringe.
it ain't my
This is a
fault.
little fringe.
Did I do that?
But you do know, like, cannabis is a part of the fig family, and the leaf that Adam and Eve put upon themselves was a fig leaf.
Oh, gross! I'm
And
smoking
of
Adam's
course,
crotch sweat.
What Adam
Oh.
and Eve ate of was called the fruit, and the fruit of cannabis is called a stone. It's actually called a stone. And so what they did was they had a stoner's high. That's how this whole situation got started, right there.
There it is. 420.
Adam and Eve got high and got the knowledge of good and evil. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Speaking of Michael, guess what I'm viewing you on? The laptop that we'll be sending your way this week.
Okay.
Awesome.
I
That's
got it working.
the new one, right on.
Oh, Michael, and somehow I don't
Right
know
on.
what the hell happened, but am I
Appreciate
muted?
that,
I'm not
sweet.
muted.
No.
Michael, I'm gonna have to find some more earbuds because I don't know what the fuck happened to the ones I had for you. They've just disappeared.
I stole them, and I sold them on eBay.
I saw the noise.
You
Yeah,
sold those cheap
that
ass
was
things on eBay?
freaking me out. Echo's gone though. I did it.
Oh,
Everybody, repeat what you say twice to throw them off.
Don't
Never-
do it.
Never,
what?
never let them
Here
know.
I
Never let
am,
them know.
here I am, here I am.
Michael.
what echo? Echo.
Oh, not the day for that. No.
It's to
Thank you.
find an emo.
Thank you, sweet.
Mine?
And nice to meet you, sir. I
Great to
just
meet
caught
you
the
all.
tail end of your show and just logged in.
I'm
What
just
do
a
you think?
people on a planet with people.
I saw you before, Lamar, in the show with Mark Peralta.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God,
Oh, okay.
those Mormons were crazy.
It was like,
Oh, wait.
Laugh.
Oh wait, he's friends with Mark and them. Oh, in the show. Oh God, not them. Not
the
those
crazy thing
two.
about that show, Alma, is that the guy on there was a science teacher.
Yeah,
And
that
that
was
was
like,
like
oh.
frightening to me. And I'm like,
Yep.
oh, this is not good. This does not bode well for America.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Dude,
I already
Prager-
told you we're built on an Indian burial ground.
Dude, they're putting
We have problems.
PragerU in the friggin' schools. Like it's all downhill from here, y'all.
It's downhill.
We
Like,
have
that
problems
dude
from the
couldn't
floor up.
He couldn't
Right.
he couldn't win arguments on his own fucking radio show, and you got him writing a goddamn curriculum. Like he lost arguments to people in traffic with no ability to look up.
He lost arguments to himself in traffic.
So I want to say that the United States schooling system is just tore up from the floor up, but you can get some good teachers, and you can get lucky
fucking
and
useless.
get pushed in some good directions.
That is true.
And that happened to me. I got a few.
Hate to
my
tell you,
heart
but
goes
most
out
of
to
those great
teachers
teachers,
because they have to work really hard to be there. They have to fight their asses off to just stay sane and be there for those students.
Yep.
most of those great teachers and everything, though, are in Jesuit schools because that's the only institution left.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So it's hard.
But for the little ones, they got the Montclair, or what is the
Montessori?
Montessori, yeah.
The Montessori method. Yep. That's
they have
my
elementary.
Wife and I, we built the school for a period where we did homeschooling resources for other people, primarily African Americans. But we built it off of the Montessori method to kind of help that way. Because mainly, like, my wife and I both went to public school, and we realized, like, holy shit, this shit sucks.
It's
like
terrible.
The majority of my teachers were there literally because this was the only job they could do that would guarantee them their weekends off and their summers off. And you could tell that. That was a really sad thing. You know, there were some bright kids who never knew they were bright, and that was just wasted time. And there were other kids who needed to be challenged and never got that challenge. And I hate that. And so education in this country is something that I'm really passionate about.
Right on.
It's unfortunate that the people that seem to be in power down in your country right now lack some education.
It's crazy. But you know, like,
put another one back in again.
You know what? You know, that's, and I hate to say it, that's kind of the danger of democracy that nobody wants to talk about. Democracy only works well in the condition of a powerful education system. If the education system isn't strong,
bag these schools.
You know,
I think we have some ticking time bombs built in too. I had somebody the other day coming at me with Voltaire's quote that I may not agree with what you have to say, but I will die. Your right to defend saying what you have to say.
Defend your right to saying it.
And there you go. And anyway, it came down to, they were talking about American free speech, and I said, well, yeah, American free speech is great and all. And then they even threw up a 1930s rally in New York of Nazis to show that, look, even the police take down the protesters of these Nazis. And I watched in the first minute, no. It was nothing but brown shirts swarmed this guy who was protesting, and they beat the fuck out of him. Now I'm watching a little bit later, and sure, the cops dragged him out of the hall, but I think they were doing him a favor because he was going to die if he stayed in the hands of the Nazis. And that's when I got in a fight with this person. I said, I am so for free speech, but not for a group that were they to rise and get into power is going to shut. That's right. They're going to shut that free speech down. It's the first thing they do.
That's it. It should be like the way things impact humans should be the barometer. The way this impacts other people should always kind of be the barometer of whether this is something we should be engaging, allowing, empowering, or enabling. And I think that's something in this country that we've gotten so far away from, that like we've become so religious in this country that we view our founding fathers as the fathers of the faith. And so it's just like the Constitution is sacred. And even if the Constitution was right, like, I don't like this idea of binding ourselves to something that somebody said 200 years ago.
Neither
doesn't seem like a good idea.
Neither did half of our founding fathers, who actually wanted a constitution to have an expiration date.
They wanted a living and breathing document.
A living document. And Thomas Jefferson spoke extensively on that and wrote extensively on that this government should be refreshed. And I'm not talking about with the blood of, that one, but that this government should be refreshed with generations, that each generation should be reinterpreting this idea. And that whole concept seems to be lost on modern American politics.
It's like we literally got handed the user's manual, and instead of like using it to develop our own thing, we just like put it in bronze and made it a holy book. It's just like, no one shall touch the commandments. It's like, no,
we treat the Constitution like the Bible. We definitely do.
Yeah. Well, if you
And
have
that's
$60 to spare, there's a poor orange man who's trying to raise money right now.
Well, and unfortunately,
you can get
you've
them
let
both
a
in the
whole
same
party.
book.
You've let their whole party basically usurp the government to the point where they're not passing any meaningful legislation that helps humans in any way, shape, or
In
form.
any way. That's right.
And it's
Those aren't
it's,
humans.
Well, you know, I live in a state where now in vitro fertilization is criminal. This
You
is
live in Alabama?
I do.
Damn.
I do.
That sucks.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
headed
forgot to tell you.
I'm headed down to Gulf Shores, Alabama here pretty soon.
Ooh, Gulf Shores is actually nice. It's nice.
I meant to say,
Just
I got family
don't
in
get
Birmingham.
politically entrenched here because it's ugly. It's
Sweet
ugly.
helicopters in and helicopters out of the best spots.
He's actually got a rocket pack for this trip. It's not out yet.
Yeah, I'm
With a
flying
martini.
I have to fly into Pensacola to go to Gulf Shores.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
Which Pensacola?
So it's
Isn't that Florida?
yeah.
Yep, it is.
Okay, I was like,
Well, it's right in the
my
middle of
geography's not
Pennsylvania.
It's
In the middle of
and Coca-Cola.
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Pennsylvania and Coca-Cola. That's where
Yeah.
they meet.
It's a mix. It's a 50-50 blend.
Cola Pensa.
Just so you guys know, we don't actually have freedom of speech in Canada.
Not quite.
Really?
Well, it's called freedom of expression.
Oh, okay.
However,
Ah.
the government has the right. It's freedom of expression. You can express yourself however you want, as long as it doesn't entail harm to anyone or assault or anything like that. Like as long as it's not harming somebody else, you can express yourself as one. The government will come down on you if you express things that would.
And you have to
Or
say, I'm
could.
sorry.
Yeah, you can't express.
And you have to say it like that.
stuff
I'm
that.
sorry. It
I'm
has
sorry.
to be sorry.
Yeah.
Like
What's
So
that?
in
Ed?
practice, the charter permits the government to enforce reasonable limits on censoring speech.
I'm
So,
not mad
in
at
other
that.
words,
have
if
that
it comes out to hurt people, then they're going to censor your speech.
Okay.
You know,
We totally don't have it here. We don't have
there have been plenty of times that I, like many of my
What's this now?
ancestors, have thought about taking that
Oh, I haven't been
dangerous
on the
trek north.
speech for.
I have
for a while.
thought about taking that
Sorry,
that
Jen.
underground railroad to Canada because America is becoming dangerous for people of my shade,
Mhm.
for sure, and of my
Come on up.
taste. Apparently,
If you don't mind, Nicole, come on up.
I don't. I actually kind of prefer it at times. You know,
Don't say that.
I'm a teddy bear.
You play disc golf?
I was trying to get a roommate.
Okay, Jen, I'm sending you a link, but I don't want some.
Oh,
I don't want some big fucking rant going on here.
Yeah, don't go crazy this time. Yeah.
okay.
I'm
Before Jen
scared.
gets in here, I
Oh.
have my 420 or for my
Oh, your
my
haiku.
stoner haiku ready.
Ooh.
Right?
Okay, 420 special Stoner Haiku
Yep.
by Ollie.
Smoke.
I am going to head out for the night because I am resetting this laptop so I can send it over to my
Ooh.
Okay, sweet.
Night, sweet.
Thank
All
you.
Yay.
Sweet.
Hit it,
Good night.
Ollie. Woo us.
Smoke so skunky, burning thick in bong and pipe. Happy 420.
Yay.
There
that
you
was a
go.
good one.
Perfect. Oh, there she is.
I need to get like some rain water or something. You know, for that.
It caught
How's it
me.
going,
I was
sweetheart?
One of
Like,
those
boy.
bowl things. What's up, Jen?
How it do, my stillborn cat litter? My name is everyone's favorite convict.
I love that.
Happy-
That sounds like one hell of a novel. Like everyone's favorite convict. I'd watch that show prime time.
I mean,
Every
if I wrote
Thursday
it, a
night.
novel would be better than all the fucking books that have in jail. I'll just say that. I'll write that.
the happy what are we calling it? Merry Kwanzaa.
Jen.
Merry Kwanzaa.
Merry Kwanzaa.
I could get down with that.
Merry Kwanzaa.
Merry
Kwanzaa.
Yo, everyone,
Oh.
it's Thanks Ganja's Day.
Saint
Ganja.
Ganja. There we go. I like that.
This character now. Okay, that character just got adopted into my novels. There is a Saint Ganja now. And he is awesome.
Saint
He is
Ganja's
wise.
That was
He
the
is
school
evergreen.
that's the school I went to. St. Ganja's. Yeah, it's over there on 48.
Me and a
No,
buddy.
Billy got a bingo.
Yep.
Bingo.
Bitch didn't.
Me and a buddy actually had Saint Oned was our guiding saint back when we were in Catholic school, because Saint
Wish I
Oned
had a
when written
buddy.
out.
Oh, he froze. It caused him to freeze.
Yeah. You
Well,
did.
damn.
You
I
locked
wish
him
I
up
had a
solid.
saint.
You're magical, Neil.
Shut up, buddy. You got it. I'm your buddy. You have a buddy.
You have to, Michael. I'm kicking your ass out. You're gonna have to, you'll have to come back in.
Yep.
Kicking him from the studio. Kick guest. Yes, right in the squat in the nuts. There we go. No,
This
It's
is a
always nice to
full
have a
logo.
hammer.
I don't suggest you drink these.
I don't
What
know
are
what
they?
it is.
Oh,
Boy.
Four Locos? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, they
It's
still
a
make
headache in a
those?
bottle.
Man,
Oh,
They have the
I'm
they
going
have
that
a
for my
luster.
energy drink at this time of night.
Oh,
They have- they're not the
These-
same anymore, Jen. They had to curb it back because that shit was too buck wild. People were
I was
dying.
about to say the only time
It's
I ever
rough.
heard Four Locos was at a Slipknot and a Mice and Men concert.
Oh,
with Marilyn
Jesus
Manson.
Christ.
So, yeah, I mean,
that is deep.
Dude, that's a brutal fucking show. Oh my
If
god.
Mice and Men opened, then it was Manson, and then Slipknot did a 4 encore. They did 4 encores, man.
Oh,
Jeez.
that's
Fucking great.
dope. Like, that's insane.
Well, that's their
You have
own
to slow
damn
down
fault for
because
having
this-
50 songs.
this dihydrogen monoxide is sending me over the edge here.
Oh yeah.
And then by the end of the
Oh,
night,
no.
they were giving out free cucumber rock stars, right? So I just took like 5 of them, like downed them, I sculled them, and I'm like, I got the power of cucumbers.
I love it.
Fucking rode my happy ass out of there.
Why does that remind me of like Child's Play? Give me the power, I beg of thee.
With what's that actor's name? The guy who the serial killer who becomes Chucky.
the guy.
The guy.
The guy. I don't know.
Brad Dourif.
I've been doing a lot of that, like just bracketed speech. I'm like,
Serial killer. that
guy.
becomes Chucky.
Insert
You got
guy
it.
here.
Is
You
that-
know, I don't.
know which guy.
I can't be bothered. trying
Charles
to
Lee
remember-
Ray.
There you go.
That's the
Yeah.
name. That is the name.
I can't be
Yes.
bothered to remember these things. I'm very important these
Okay,
days.
thanks, Google. Got it.
Hey, that was a very
She's just going
part
on
of
and
my
on.
childhood.
Yeah, no.
Like Charles Lee Ray and Drop Dead Fred. Very important parts of my childhood.
Yeah.
Have you seen the porn version of Drop Dead Fred?
Oh Lord.
What?
Is there
Here
a
we go.
porn version of Drop Dead?
Yes.
There's a
Here-
porn
here-
version.
There's a
of
porn-
everything.
Okay. Let me. Even Beverly Hills Cop.
Wait,
Oh God.
There is
No.
a porn version of Lord of the Rings. There is
Oh yeah.
of everything.
Porn
Yeah, the
version
big
of
one.
Do they have
Star
a porn
Wars.
version of the
You think of
song
it, it's
Axel
out there.
Fernando from the original Beverly Hills Cop?
you know, I watched the porn version of the Green Mile. Not good. Not good.
No.
Boss, I need you to take this.
Oh
from
God!
me.
Oh God! Oh no! Oh, it's happening! Oh, there's black stuff coming out of his face. Oh Jesus! Oh God!
That's not. No.
It was like a
No,
Lord
bukkake
of
of
the
the
G
moth.
string.
The
Just gonna
Passion
put
of the
my
Christ.
lotion back up and put this towel out the way. I guess I won't be needing this today.
Oh yeah, Flesh Gordon. I remember that one. Flesh Gordon.
Flash
Gordon.
Gordon.
Hi, Janet. I know it's after hours, but I really need to talk to you. Like, just get the therapist on the line.
Ryan's private.
Yeah.
What
I
was that
just saw
famous line
something
from that
traumatizing. I don't know how to feel about this.
The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, what?
What famous line from the Exorcist one? What was it? The power of the cock compels you.
The power of the
Power of the cock.
Oh God, I don't.
Oh,
even,
no,
I don't even. I don't
Have
even
y'all
want to
seen
like
that movie? This
imagine
is
that
the end
at
with
all.
Jonah Hill, where he was like demon possessed, and they were like, "The power of Christ compels you," and he's like, "Does it? Does it
Does
compel
it?
me? Jay? Is it compelling me?"
No,
Forrest
the
Gump.
movie. That's a good one though. Yeah.
Take this beaver from me.
Quite frankly,
there it
I'd
is.
watch fucking
Loin
anything.
King.
Yep.
Simba,
There we go.
remember who you are.
And then Rafiki mushroom stamps. It's like, no.
What do we got here?
Oh, dang, Rafiki is doing
a
like
pocket Bible?
Oh, that's bad. Oh, cuando
Bible?
compras una Biblia de bolsillo.
When you buy a pocket Bible.
Aw, they're little fellas.
Damn.
Not laughing.
Poor buddy. This midget Jesus.
Not my-
You know,
Jesus is one of the 7 dwarves.
Which one was he?
Like,
Sneaky.
dopey.
Obviously,
He was the secret 8th dwarf, Stabby.
Stabby.
eternal victim.
I thought he was holy.
Dude, we all got stabbed. all right?
Holy yeah.
You're the last one. Still bitching and whinging.
I'm just imagining like a Disney dwarf up on the cross with like 2 other Disney dwarfs next to him on like other crosses on a hill. Like the fucking wicked witches there, like just like, now I got you, you bastards.
How about a little fire, Scarecrow?
yes, my pretty.
Yeah, I'd watch anything now because all they play in jail is Criminal Minds, and I fucking hate Criminal Minds in the People's Court and all that bullshit.
That's ironic.
Hey
Oh,
guys,
yeah, it's like they
sounds
want
that
you to reoffend because all they have for novels are murder mysteries, and all they have on TV is Criminal Minds
That is
and courtroom
hilarious.
TV.
can I get a? Can I
This
make
is
a?
how you don't get caught.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
a loop if I've ever seen one.
hey, Warden, can I make a request? Yeah, I just wanted to get some lock picking books. No, just some stuff
I don't
on how
feel
to
like
get
we
those
have enough
tumblers
bank
out of the way.
robbery books in the prison library.
You don't
Can I
need
get
them
some more
because
of
they-
those?
Locksmithing. It's called locksmithing books, and then they'll get them
Locksmithing.
for you.
Oh, the guys in jail will teach you
Hey,
for you.
that's
The guys in
strategy.
jail will teach you. You don't even need the books.
I'm getting to. I'm just working them in. You know, I'm just softening them up, and the next thing you know, they'll leave a paper clip.
Oh, that that paperclip that you just spoke about. That reminds me of. No, you guys are familiar with the Friday the
The
13th
Windows?
series, right?
Yes.
What about the other one, the lesser known one, Saturday the 14th? Have you seen that movie?
What?
The Ides of March.
Is that real?
The killer is going through a drawer full of weapons. He's knife, nah, axe, nah, rusty hammer, nah, paper clip, and he pulls it. If you haven't seen Saturday the 14th, it's very funny.
It's a real
definitely
thing?
Check it out.
This isn't
Yes.
a joke?
Yes.
Yeah,
I thought you were.
Yes,
I
from
thought
the
this was a
80s.
bit.
80s movie.
Joke.
I thought you were telling me a joke about what happens in this movie, and I was totally along for the ride. I was
It's
yes-anding
real.
like a
It's a
motherfucker.
real fucking movie.
This reminds me
It's
I
of
believe
movie.
you.
this reminds me of that short film where like this guy is running around dressed as Death and he's like hitting a guy with a spoon, and the guy eventually dies from being hit by the spoon.
And it's just like
I guess
much
too
for
many
me to handle.
too many spoon blows.
Yeah.
This
Or
is-
the Velocipastor.
I
Was
feel
the
like
guy that
everyone's
was
gonna
being
be
hit
hitting
down
Velocipaster's
the
a
dick?
When
classic.
spooning gets real, is that what that is? You know?
spoon the yard.
I was
Yeah.
picturing the tick the whole time. I'm sorry. As soon as the spoon, tick,
The tick.
you know,
I never understood
Hellraiser
that show. I'm
was
like, am I
freaking
supposed to be
me.
watching?
you're not supposed to.
Like for the tick, I was like, am I old enough for this? I
Like,
don't
It was
know.
very confusing, right? Like
I'm like, you're
watching what
very
was
buff.
it? Aeon Flux. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, I thought
That's
this was a
another one that's
cartoon, but now I'm not sure. There's some other
Yeah,
stuff.
what's going on right
happening
now?
There is a live
also
action.
when
Aeon
I,
Flux,
I
yeah.
saw
Who's in that? Who's the Flux lady from Aeon Flux in that movie?
The flux.
Oh, in the
Escape.
movie, it was damn, I know her
Charlize Theron,
name
Is
because
it
she
the
was
Resident
Arrested
Evil lady?
Development.
I think
and
that's what I was
she's in
thinking.
Marvel movies.
I can never remember her name because like I didn't.
Charlene Theron.
Charlize Theron.
No,
That's her.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That's
Is it?
that's her. That's her.
that's not
I
the
don't-
one
It's
from
I
Resident
Charlene.
don't
Evil.
believe you. I don't believe
It's
you.
Charlene. She's such a
Joliovich,
transformative actor.
something-
She's
something
really
Joliovich.
impressive. Oh, I love
Definitely.
Amelia. Milia is amazing in everything she's in, even though she
Mila
plays the same
Djokovic.
character.
It is
But
Mila
Denzel
Charlene.
and Samuel L. Jackson does the same thing. They play the same character in everything they're in.
Yeah.
Oh, my homies in
I wanna
this
say hi to all
movie.
my
Good,
friends. Do you know my
good old Walton Goggins. If you guys,
Oh, Goggins is in that, isn't he?
yeah, he's probably. If you guys
Righteous Gemstones Goggins.
did you watch The Shield?
Oh, I have not watched The Shield.
So The Shield is like that gritty, like cop show where like it's dirty cops and they like do dirty shit, and it's like will they get their comeuppance and then that kind of thing. Man, it is fucking what's his name? Michael Chiklis. It's his show.
Yeah,
he's
famous.
And Walter Goggins is in it. I fucking hated his ass in that show. And then I was talking some other stuff. I was like, oh, it's you. And I was like, oh, he's just got range.
Yeah.
He does.
Oh, I was like, dude, this guy's got fucking chops. And then like every time I see him now, he's a totally different person.
What, do you remember him in Django?
I didn't watch Django. I don't like Quentin Tarantino.
Oh
No. What?
I am a Quentin Tarantino fan.
Me too.
I
There's
hate
a lot
to
of
say
it I
it.
like.
He's got a fetish for us.
I felt like Django was one of his best works. And like it was, and Walter Goggins was in that. He plays a character in that. And his delivery is excellent. But I'll also say that Leonardo DiCaprio's?
Yeah.
His delivery in Django, goddamn, it's unmatched. Like if you don't hate him as a white man at the end of that, like I don't know. Like he delivered it. He delivered it.
You went full
he's
send.
he's so
Yes.
almost every role he's in, he's just terrific.
He really has.
He really is.
Inception,
He's come so
Wolf of
far.
Wall Street, Titanic, Romeo and Juliet, which was weird but still good.
It was so weird, and then they acted like it wasn't weird. It was weird.
I gotta say,
The
my
pistol
favorite.
said dagger on him. It was
Yes!
weird.
What's the
I
name
gotta
of the
say, my
one that he
favorite
was in that was
was,
right around the Manson killings? Where
Once
it was
upon a time in Hollywood. That's
Yeah,
what
Once
you
Upon
said.
a Time in
that's
Hollywood.
fucking wicked
Dude,
movie.
that's my favorite.
See, I
Tarantino,
had
and
a
that's my
hard
favorite
time with that
DiCaprio
just because it was a retelling of history that didn't happen.
It
So
was an
Yeah,
alternate
I know.
history.
struggled.
It wasn't a retelling of history. It was an alternate history.
yeah, like an
On top of
alternate
that,
take
it was like
on.
it
A
was
what
so
if.
anti-Tarantino style that's why I kind of liked it, because it showed like how he could branch out. I mean, yeah, like the last 10 minutes is like a classic Tarantino fight, but like still, that's why that's my favorite, is because it's like for most of the movie, it's just kind of like a weird alternate history period piece.
I did like
That's
it. I
kind
did
of
like
relaxing.
it. It was just it was odd that it was that it had a fight with him and Bruce Lee, and it was just odd that those.
Well,
kinda,
but that was all like a
It was like
hallucination,
jumping the
wasn't it? Or
shark
like
at
a-
that
like a
moment,
thought.
right?
yeah, there was a couple
I kind
times
of
I
get
was
that.
like, I
That's
felt
his
like
name. Quentin
I
jumped
felt
the
like-
shark Tarantino.
that's true.
Old shark jumpy.
Oh, shark. Oh, what movie was that? There was a movie where Sharky was a main character, and it was a spoof.
Eek the cat.
Oh God, it was
That's a deep reference.
I wish I could remember. I cannot remember it, but it was a spoof movie, and I can't even remember the actors' names who were in it. But Sharky was one of the characters. He was a mermaid.
Jaws 6.
Huh?
Tons of my says
There was
Jaws
a Get
6.
Sharky. There was a movie called Get Sharky, and that
Get
had
I do remember that, but this one was
Get
like
Shorty?
it was like a bunch of pirates. They were on a ship. There were mermaids in this.
Oh,
Sharky was
okay.
half shark, half guy. It was comedy. There was a lady on a mountain.
Wait.
She was married to a giant, and people wanted to go up to the mountain and bang
Is
the
this a real
lady.
movie
on
or a
the
fever
mountain.
Which
dream?
half was which? I need to know which half was which. You said he was half shark, half guy. Which half was which?
That immediately took me
Left
to a
half,
Family
right
Guy
half.
episode. It was the bottom half.
Well, for me, it's a Red Dwarf episode, but okay.
Why is it when like people are like half animal, half human, it's always like top half, bottom half? Why can't it be? I want a left half shark guy. You know, like not even like an anthropomorphic shark. I want him to have like half of a tail, half of a like one fin, like half a Thorful
What I
fan.
want to know,
Like our line
what
of symmetry is vertical, so I don't know why all the halves are going at the navel. Like, why are we going to that way? Go the other way. You'd be like a
Go the
frozen.
other way.
Now you're thinking
what happens-
portals.
Yeah.
what happens if a Minotaur and a Centaur have a child together, but it's got the
Oh.
bottom half
Abomination.
of the Minotaur and the top half of the Centaur?
One day,
Would it just
now
be a
he's just
human?
regular.
What the fuck is that?
There's actually a D&D character that's built kind of like that, where like they take the stats of a variant human, but like their lore is they're like half like centaur, half minotaur.
That's crazy.
All right.
What decade did that movie come out with Sharky in it? Is it old? Is it new?
It would have been the 80s or the 90s.
Alright.
Let me. Okay, hold up. Let me.
I'm just saying that gives me some time ranges.
Yes.
there.
I
Sharky's
wish I
Machine?
could remember one of the act. Okay, you remember the actor in Scary Movie? He was like, "Take my strong hand."
I don't know. I don't know who that was though.
That's
That
Chris,
actor is the main character in that movie.
Chris Evans, Chris Pine, Chris Pratt, Chris Parnell, Chris Nolan, Chris Dianabanopoulos, Chris Knopf.
Okay.
He even had his own show one time where he lived in his mom's
Chris
basement
Kattan.
and stuff like. No. He was a writer for on Saturday Night Live. He was a writer. He was a writer for
That definitely sounds right.
for I think what's his name there, Conan O'Brien. He did some writing for his show.
Did he have the dog? Is he the one who does the?
Oh shit!
Chris Snyder. No.
No.
I'm almost at it. What is his
Chris
name?
Kelly.
I know in the movie his name was Hanson the Butler.
Did he also work for David Letterman?
It feels like he could have.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm on the trail.
Yeah, he did.
Because he's that one real ugly Chris-looking dude.
Chris Elliott.
Chris Elliott, yeah.
Chris Elliott.
That dude's a homely-looking mug.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was in Something About Mary. He played like the creepy.
He did. Yes.
He played the creepy guy at the end of Something About
The
Mary
fifth
that
pink
was all
dude.
obsessed with Mary.
He always plays creepy guys.
The movie with the ship where he's on a
Cabin
ship.
Boy. That was the name of the
Cabin
movie.
Boy. That movie.
I
was
remember
fucked up.
that.
Oh, that movie was fucked up.
Yeah,
There
that
like
movie
a
was
sun.
weird.
Oh man, I can't even. That movie was. It was
Yes,
high. That movie
Cabin
was so
Boy.
high.
Yes,
Who
that
was the
did
one that
exist.
said, "Take my strong
I
hand"?
was
Yes.
a latchkey kid, so yes, I watched a lot of inappropriate movies.
Does anybody want to guess? Does anybody want to guess?
Me too.
How many stars out of 10 it got for the rating?
For which?
How many?
For
Cabin
Cabin Boy. It was 1994, and it was
gonna get-
PG-13.
Get a half a star?
How was that PG-13?
I gave it 2.
I have no idea. There was definitely sex in that movie.
Yeah, like he fucked the
I
lady
definitely
on the
remember
mountain
sex.
when the dad came in.
Wasn't there
It
like
was
a
like a
statue,
John
like with
Wick.
100
Yeah, there was a
hairs?
statue on the front of a ship that came alive too.
Yeah.
And she did, and she had
Nathaniel
boobies. I remember
Nathaniel
that.
Mayweather.
Oh
I
my
like
God.
boobies.
I do. I am a fan. I am a
It
fan.
has a
I mean, mine are okay,
5.3.
but you know.
But this
It has
movie,
a
I've had mine. Mine have been with me my whole life.
you could have put the Animal House on though for better boobies than this movie.
Ooh, yes. Well, I mean, now you're talking about movies with boobies. There are definitely better movies than Cabin Boy.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Debbie Does Dallas probably has a lot
Okay,
more
there you go.
boobies than
Debbie
Cabin
Does
Boy.
Dallas.
I think my first exposure to boobies and movies was the original Alien director's cut.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Yeah.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Species was so sexually energized that I was like,
That's
"Holy
another
crap!
good
Is this
H.R.
not
Giger
porn?"
designed one. Yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
remember that one. I
You're
don't
right.
think
Yeah.
I saw it.
Species?
one
Really?
where
Huh?
like
Yeah.
like
Good
an
one.
alien like
I'm gonna have to
It was
watch
like pretty much
False.
when they made Splice, they were remaking Species.
That's what I
It
thought
was the
too.
same
Yeah,
dang concept.
Okay.
yeah. Splice is
So
another
don't
good
see
one. Splice
Splice.
is like,
It was.
but I feel like it didn't get a lot of coverage, all things considered.
What else came out? What came out?
It was crafted.
But you got to consider what else came out at the time.
Yeah,
I don't even remember
a lot of shit gets like buried because like heaven forbid you had a movie come out last year because Barbie happened. So like last year was a bad year to let your movie come out because
Barbie and Oppenheimer literally at the same time.
Yeah,
nothing else exists.
Just
Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I had my movies confused. Saturday the 14th, which I have also seen, is very funny, but it's not the one I was talking about. The movie I was talking about, the killer's name is The Breather, and it's from Student Bodies.
Okay.
Yeah.
That rings a bell.
But you guys were talking about booby shots in movies, and nobody mentions the original Total Recall with the chick in the bar with the three boobs. Come on now.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a debate I have with a lot of people. Original Total Recall or reboot? I'll say my answer later.
The original.
Actually, let's make it round the horn. Round the horn question.
Hey. Infringement.
And when we say original, like there's not one before Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
No,
there isn't.
Okay, perfect.
That's the original.
The original.
That's
the
OG.
Get your ass to mouth. Get your ass
like
to
I
mouth.
tried to watch the new one, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?
This
doesn't feel familiar."
Did Weird Science have real boobs in it, or was that just?
Oh God, I think it was more innuendo than real boobs, but my God, it was strong innuendo.
It was under boobs.
Under boobs. That's what we got. That's right.
Under boobs is valid.
You were right. Like as soon as you said it, I just saw the picture, and I was like, "Yep,
Yeah,
it was. It was."
I was under boob.
Alma, are we making you uncomfortable? We will change the topic.
Sorry.
That is true.
Okay.
That is true.
All right, Boobon. She says it's fine.
No,
I've been
actually,
drinking.
Mars was
I've been
Mexico
drinking.
in that movie.
Who was?
The Mexico was the part of the movie of Total Recall where he was chased. Mars was actually the Mexican subway.
Oh wow!
I've always kind of felt that was kind of like that. Like Mars and Mexico was related.
In Mexico, no. The futuristic scenes. It's shot in the Mexico. That's the subway, right?
Yes,
they have a huge subway terminal. So all those futuristic, like the concrete and all that shit.
Yeah,
that's their subway that they dressed up to look. Not the desert. The desert is probably a set. But I did hear that. Yeah, that's
actually really dope.
Yeah,
why does your subway look fucking? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now the pyramid shit's starting to make sense. How the fuck y'all get a subway that look like that? Huh? Y'all using alien technology and ain't fucking sharing that shit?
Yeah.
If we're going
Hey, look, Americans only think we're the best because of propaganda. That's how that shit works.
I got Mexican family members now. We got a blended family. I need to be let in on the secrets. Do we have spaceships? Let me in.
Do we have spaceships?
Help me.
Don't leave me here with them.
I think it was Jimmy.
If we're going on this topic, we know that the Bass Pro Shop was built by aliens, by Xenu, by the Scientologists, so that we can leave the soul catchers, escape into the atmosphere, and finally rejoin the galactic empire.
Yeah.
So
you can join up Sea Org right there.
I had Mexican neighbors once, and I looked at my wife one day and I said, "Babe, I think we as black people have been doing America wrong." I said, I don't think we've been living America right because these Mexicans are outdoing the fuck out of us. What the fuck are we doing wrong? My neighbors was putting me to fucking shame. I was like, God damn.
You gotta stop looking.
I don't think we're doing America right. I think we gotta learn how to do America.
I have a spaceship, Mikey.
Oh Lord.
I have a spaceship.
See, when there's a Mexican disc golf team that wins everything because they have perfect disc, don't be fucking surprised, Ali, because I just cracked the fucking code. They have alien technology and they're not sharing that shit. Man, blame Alma.
Do you think if the Yachas from Predator played disc golf, they would use those like sun discs that vibrate and are like turned into giant shurikens? That'd be cool to see.
Like a destructo disc from Krillin.
Yeah. That's more what I picture. If you're looking at a disc golf weapon, Krillin's Destructo disc.
Oh, somebody
Krillin
made
Android 18.
somebody
Oh,
made a
stories
somebody
that
made
we-
an AMV for Toriyama, and it literally choked me up. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Anime is too much. It was like a song about using all the Dragon Balls to wish Toriyama back, and I was like, oh,
They can't
Damn.
do that though.
damn, yo, why y'all
Right.
hit me right in the feels though? Critical hit.
Dragon Ball Z is such an important part of my life. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Huh.
I
Completely.
got some
raise
Dragon
us.
Balls right up there.
I started watching Dragon Ball Z right around when my son was born because I was up with him most nights, and
Mhm.
it was like that's what I
Yep.
watched for
I'll
a
say
year.
this: Dragon
Yep.
Ball has always remained as that one 3A show when I didn't realize how fucking high on dabs I've been, and I just turned on Adult Swim and I'm like, oh, Dragon Ball's on, fine. I'll watch Goku beat Beerus's fucking ass.
like what? In like
Get on
like
there.
15 minutes, you're just gonna be watching somebody charging up. Like that's really
Yeah, 3 episodes of people going, "Ah."
You know, like next time.
Man, but
Dragon Ball
once he
Z,
hits that Ultra
will
Instinct, you know
Goku
shit's gonna
become
get real.
Super
And you're
Saiyan
like,
3?
yo,
Yes!
Goku just went
Ultra
Super Saiyan
Instinct,
God, Ultra
yes.
Instinct, yo, he go fuck shit up, man.
And
But
and
you
it's
know,
funny
like my
because
love for Dragon Ball Z ended up leading me to studying more about Hawaiian history because
Oh,
the
that's good.
comic Ha is based off of the king of Hawaii.
Oh, right. It's just yes.
Colonized, and of course, an unknown, like a not popular secret about Hawaii is that the reason why Hawaii has this very mixture look is because we like rushed in a whole bunch of Asian immigrants several times over during that time. And so like that's one of the beautiful thing about Toriyama's stories is that it's actually showing some historical elements there. At the same.
right.
It's like amazing. But it's kind of like what Stan Lee did with X-Men. But that's
Right.
why I love fiction. That's why I love art. Art is just our way of telling our story as humanity, and it's just always amazing to me.
But I
Yeah,
like
for sure.
but instead of art, I really like Facebook memes to really tell the story of it.
So wait,
At
that's
first
actually a really poignant thing you say about art. But like, do you mind if I quote you on that when I make my video on AI art, especially about Shadiversity, defending it? Because I fucking hate AI art, and I think you just hit the nail on the head as to why AI art is so soulless and
Yes.
like meaningless and
Yes.
empty.
Can I add a quote to it?
Yeah.
To use a machine to make art is to me the greatest abomination of the term humanity. Because art literally only belongs to us. It
Yeah.
only isn't important to us. It doesn't matter to machines. It doesn't matter to rocks. It doesn't matter to animals. It is only important to us. So if
Wow.
you
That's
take
not true
art,
with the animals, FYI.
Yeah, animals can.
I'm saying-
They
well,
like
they don't.
music.
They don't
Now I'm
get the
interested
lyrics.
in-
They're not getting the lyrics to fucking songs. That's for damn sure. You know what I mean? Like
music.
they can appreciate some things at some capacity. Sure, I'll wave that away. I'll give you that. But we know what we're saying to us. It is literally human speak. Art is human speak. And to have a machine steal people's human speak and recreate it and then sell it to people, to me is the grossest crime against our literal human nature, our literal thing that separates us from animals.
I like that, but my whole thing too is, and that actually does work a lot because a lot of the arguments for AI art, right, are like these fucking tech bros, and I'm not gonna cast a blanket statement here, but I am gonna cast a blanket statement here for a sec. These tech bros and these like crypto bros are like, oh, AI is going to democratize art, and then you artists won't have a monopoly on what can be created.
Right.
Monopoly on what can be created. I spent 25 years of my life to get as good as I am now. And, you know, if you wanted to be as good as I am now, all you had to do is just pick up a paintbrush or download a $5 app from the App Store and just start creating. But no,
go out and suck for a while.
That's not that,
that's
that's where I'm gonna say something that I think the world has not discovered yet is that AI can't make art without an artist. And I think that's what the world has yet to discover. You can put any random, John in front of a computer and say, hey, tell this thing to make me something. But if this person hasn't been educated in the nuances of artistic complexities, they don't even know how to have the conversation to create something that even has artistic depth or meaning or substance. And I think that's the rude awakening that a lot of people are setting themselves up for, who think they're about to replace human artists. It's not gonna happen.
They never will.
It's like that. Will. What is that thing called? Is it it's not the Strange Valley, but it's something
Uncanny Valley.
Dunning-Kruger effect.
Uncanny
Valley.
Uncanny
And
Valley.
ultimately, that's the relationship we have with, even now to this day, with AI art. When we look at it, we know something about it. That's not right.
Well,
and
my
artist
brain
early days it started with the fingers.
Let me push back on you a little bit.
Yeah.
Not everyone can do that.
Now that is true.
So that's the other problem. And art is largely removed from schools in any meaningful way. Like I took three music classes a day in high school. I skipped my lunch. I had a before school choir, and I had jazz band, and I had concert band. So reading and writing music was literally what I did for 3 hours a day, every day for 4 years. And like that, if you don't have that level of monotony and playing shit that you don't like for a month, and learning the process, that's what it takes, right? And to offer up a shortcut or a economy option for people to get graphics is totally I don't know. It's just apocryphal to the whole meaning of the thing. Like you can pay somebody to do your art for you. That's called a job. And if you want that, you should pay for it. If you
I get what you're saying. And from my perspective, right, since I do I do like pretty realistic like renders and shit, right? So like from my perspective, when I look at AI art, it's not about counting fingers because they figured out the fingers issue a while ago. It's not about seeing spelling mistakes in the background because I know some really good artists who just like make up their own fake symbols to replace languages because they don't want to actually write, right? It's not about any of that. What it's about, when you learn artwork, eventually one day you'll just start seeing light sources. You'll see them off the screen, off the page, where there's no light, right? But you see where the light source is shining from, and the shadows never match. The shadows never add up, and that's that uncanny valley that you was talking about. That's that je ne sais quoi that people can't.
Something's not right here.
They can't quite put their finger on what's wrong, but that's what's wrong. The human mind can see those shadows and we're used to processing these patterns, and we know what reality looks like. And then when you look at something where there's like 1,000,001 different light sources and nothing makes sense, and it looks generic and weird. You know it's weird, but I see every single flaw within the process.
It's
going back
highlighted.
To what you said, Mikey, the process is all about it, right? Like learning the basics with music, right? Sitting there forced by your school to listen to shit you don't like, and like writing down music to learn those basics and those fundamentals. Once you build up on all of them skill sets, you see AI art is like a very poor imitation.
That's it. And and I think that there may be a lot of opportunity there, because even the way you just described that, it's almost like that gives true artists the opportunity to be the people who calls out the emperor's new clothes. When everybody else thinks that the emperor is all fancy and stuff, you're like, no, this dude is naked. I don't know what the rest of y'all are talking about. But this is not impressive. This is not art. This is not beauty.
Oh, you're a hater.
Yeah,
so you're a hater. Because that's what it turns into, right? You're sensitive. You're sensitive, and you're trying to protect your livelihood. And in all essence, like music and art and stuff like that, that is my religion. Like our human expression, that fulfills me in a way that religion never could. I would
I
much
think
rather
Common
listen
said
to
that in the song.
and I would much rather listen to opera, like an opera, than a sermon any fucking day.
Any
I will
day,
get
yes.
so much more, even if it's in a language I don't understand. It can be a Japanese opera where I'm just sitting there, just like, okay, I heard the word and. Okay, there's and again.
Nope.
That's how I know. Like, you know, like
I just heard the emotion in the note, and it just like, oh yeah, I get it. They're sad. You
right.
know,
this is
happy.
like, this is terrible. This is so terrible. Like, I don't know what's happening, but it's awful. You just, but I don't know.
And that's the essence of art, when it can transcend barriers like language or like comprehension, and you still feel or like sense the emotion or the message or the heart behind it. That's what makes it art. And that's why AI art will never actually be art. That's why whenever I talk about this shit, I put art in quotations when I talk about AI art, because it's not.
Yep. And again,
I believe in big A art.
I think that does kind of go back to like we have, you know, whatever country, and we have a responsibility to make sure our education systems are creating students who have the capacity to understand art and the nuances of art and how it's important to our anthropological and ontological journey as a species. Because that's ultimately what deprives them of the ability to discern between the difference between what is artificially generated and what comes from humans.
Like you were saying with your past, like if people aren't given the proper tools to deal with situations as they come up, they're going to fail every time. They don't know how to fix it. They haven't been shown how to fix it. And we're literally taking away people's ability to learn how to fix it.
Because I know for my life, I thought that the scientific method was an option. not the way.
Right.
This was just one of the ways. And another way was prayer. You know, another way was speaking in tongues, you know, and that the scientific, you know, so and if we're raising children with that mindset that the scientific method is not the at this moment, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but at this moment, the only way that we can actually know the world around us and interpret it that way. If we're not empowering students with that type of knowledge and our children with that type of understanding, what are we doing?
Down near you, there's this thing called an ark. This idiot named Ken Ham built.
Oh, not a creationist like ark.
So it does push back the other way.
It does. Like it's scary. It's scary because I was one of the people who believed that when I was a part of that. Like I was very familiar with Ken Ham when I was in ministry, and I thought like he was a godsend. I was like, yeah, he's telling us the truth because he's proving how Noah's Ark really happened. And I'm like, oh no, none of this isn't how science works. No. And I realized like that's how I was able to believe this, is because I was so disassociated from the scientific method, because I treated it as optional, as if it was one of the many ways that we know the world around us, as opposed to, as of now, being kind of the only way that we can interpret the world around us.
There's a thread I'm in where it's atheists versus theists, so they go back and forth all the time, and I learn a lot. So this week, someone got outside of the normal. Oh yeah, it would be so hard for them to gather all those animals. What do you do with all the shit? But they got into deeper stuff like, well, so you're talking about mountains rising and falling, and that the heat joules involved in that would have had the earth burning up. There would have been no waters to exist because they would have been vaporized with all the heat.
Absolutely.
And then
rain makes the atmosphere warmer, by the way.
Thoughts of all the parasites and just all the other things that would have had to have been ferreted along the way. So what did they do? Pass those along to Noah and his kids. Here you get pubic lice for your trip. And I mean, how did that stuff make it?
That's not fun.
Now why the hell you bring mosquitoes?
I think Dave Chappelle did a skit on that.
Oh, Dave, when you were funny.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave.
Dave couldn't just Leave well enough alone.
That's not how that
I
works.
call it the Ricky Gervais effect. What happened to Dave Chappelle? Like, once you start talking your mouth about shit you don't really have a good grasp on, like Ricky Gervais, you know, then
It goes downhill from there, doesn't it?
I didn't see the plot twist of him turning Republican and MAGA and Elon Musk's best friend. I didn't see that coming.
The
signs were there all along for like the trans community, but y'all just figured it out.
Damn.
Like with his fucking J.K. Rowling special, man.
Well, he definitely had a fork in the road. I'm talking about like before that. Like he definitely had a fork in the road. I was like, oh yeah, fuck you, Comedy Central. Yeah, do your thing, Dave. Now, Dave, that's not what we meant. David.
David.
God
oh,
damn
I
it,
didn't
Dave.
know he went
David.
MAGA. I didn't know that happened.
He's too rich to care about any of us little people anymore.
Well, damn.
You stop being real, man. That's the issue. Once you like detach yourself from society.
If you knew how many comics of that era, especially Saturday Night Live ones, are Republican and conservative, it's a trip.
It's a trip.
They all made their money. They all made their money, and they all want to keep it.
Yeah, as soon as they get that first check, they're like, "Oh yeah, taxes. Yeah, we need to lower that shit."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like
we don't care what it takes.
We've created a society where the things that are the most important to us and the things that actually impact every aspect of our government are things that you do not talk about. So it makes it very easy for people to hide their intentions. When you can't talk about religion and you can't talk about politics, then you can't talk about motives. You can't talk about why you're really doing this and what you're really trying to get out of it.
I think the main issue, right, and I'm gonna sound like kind of an anti-tech boomer for a sec, but I'm not.
Boomer
is we are so interconnected as a global society now through the internet that people whose ideas should have never crossed paths in the first place, people who are super isolated, what's the term I'm looking for? Super isolated, don't have like a wide world view, don't like kind of very insulated and insular in their kind of day-to-day lives, are out here, and they're learning all of this shit, right? And they're easily influenced by anyone who can make them feel safe. And a lot of times the people that make them feel safe are the ones who put that us versus them mentality in their heads. So whether it's like blatant racism being spread online, whether it's anti-Semitism, whether it's what I deal with on a day-to-day basis, which is trans fucking phobia every second of my life, no matter how hard I fucking try to block all the transphobes, you know. And the thing is social media will promote trans people to transphobes. They'll promote like minorities to racists, all so that we keep our fucking lives tied to our screens, trying to justify our existences. And it's fucking horrible.
Conflict
I know
cells.
That was one of my breaking points, was realizing that nobody else needed to justify who they were to me. I remember in 2014 when I was deconverting and realizing like, oh, I think I might be an atheist. There was a guy who was at my church who was gay. He was homosexual. And I had like a grace church, so everybody was welcome. And I preached like everybody was welcome, but I had never preached that gay people was welcome. And this guy, he was my praise and worship leader, and he was super.
Of course he was.
Yeah,
Every praise and worship leader is gay.
Like,
he is.
And he was
y'all need to let that man be himself. Y'all got him sneaking his producer friend into the sermon. Like, come on, y'all.
I realized that I have given everybody else in my church permission to be themselves except for him. And the only reason that I hadn't given him permission to be himself is because of something I read in a fucking book. And it wasn't a book that I was even convinced was true. And then I determined at that moment, like, that's not the type of person I want to be. Right. And so it was like, I realized like, oh, me and God are at odds. And so I was like, and I literally had a conversation with God at that moment. And it was like, hey, if you want me to make any different decisions from this moment on, you have to talk to me like that. And if that doesn't happen, this is done. This is over. I'm through. And at that moment, I was an atheist and have been since then. Because I was like, I don't want to be the type of person who feels like my opinions about somebody else. I don't want to be the type of person who feels like other people have to justify their lifestyle to me. That shit shouldn't even matter to me. Like that's like that has nothing to do with your utility to me as another human being. It has nothing to do with your value to me as another human being. That's how you enjoy your life, and I should have nothing but honor for that. And
as long as you're not hurting anybody, do whatever you want. Right?
Like literally, yes.
Yeah.
Like
you that includes yourself. Try not to hurt yourself too.
Yeah, please don't do that. You know,
sin is a construct.
It
is an invention of the church.
Yeah.
Well, and that was another thing, like realizing, like, hold up, like a whole bunch of other animals fuck, and God ain't saying nothing about them. Like there's
walking
like a whole bunch of other animals out there fucking, and God is not concerned.
I think like bats are known to have like the highest rate of homosexuality across the animal kingdom, above even humans. So
I like to think of them up there actually all pissed off every time that happens. He's like, that's over there. No, look at that.
What about every time when a dog gets one of them little red rockets? You don't see little lightning bolts coming down at it, right?
Right, you know,
unclean, bam.
But my whole thing is like all of these things
Moisture
are just
missile.
humans trying to frame the world in a way where it's understandable to ourselves, right? Like labels such as sex, gender, sexuality. None of this shit exists out in the real world. Out in the real world, it's survival of the fittest, and that don't mean the best. That don't mean the strongest. That means survival of that which works, you know. And we should really honestly just stop giving a shit about all the little stuff. That ain't gonna improve anyone's lives if we worry about it, you know. Worrying about like, I mean, I could bring up 1,000,001 examples, and y'all probably have some in your heads, but it's just like there's no point in giving a shit about all this stuff that humanity uses just to put things in a framework where it makes sense for us, you know.
You're right, absolutely.
Yes.
Gods are no longer a necessary survival skill or tool.
Yeah. It's realizing that this is an experiment, and everybody has a right to endure this experiment as they see fit. You know what I'm saying? Again, as long as it's not infringing on anybody else's right, it's not hurting anybody, it's not hurting themselves. Like, because that's how we learn. Like, I can't do everything that there is to do on this planet, but I can learn from the things that you're doing, right? I can learn from the things that you're doing, and the things that you're doing, and the things that you're doing, as long as I'm open to it. And that makes me a more well-rounded human being. You know, even if it's things that I'm not interested in. It's just like, oh, snap, you did that? Oh, and that's how you felt? Oh, okay. Well, damn, teach me something. Let me know. I might want to try that now.
But it takes a certain level of humility that I think a lot of religious people are really afraid to give up. Is like you have to admit that you don't know. And then you have to, and then you have to.
They can never say, "I don't know."
You have to admit that you have to admit that you don't know, and you have to be okay with the fact
not knowing
that no one really knows.
Oh, there's no fear.
I don't have a reason to know.
So then once
there's no reason that I should know this. I don't have enough evidence.
Yeah, once we all get into the I don't know lifeboat, you don't have to start jostling the motherfucker around.
They do.
The ones who claim
they talk to God. Oh, those ones. Yeah, really.
We're all on the lifeboat.
I've had to deal with this lately.
Like the guy who was speaking to you, he seemed like he was so scared to say, "I don't know." He was like, "No, I know everything. I know this and I know that."
And that's the thing, isn't it? Is like usually those people are like, "Oh, well, atheists want to say they know the whole universe," and then they go on to say that they know the whole universe. I've been having to deal with this shit. Yeah. I've been having to deal with this shit in my comments. I finally figured out how to use YouTube Shorts. Great tool to revive dead content for all my fellow content creators out there. You know, you got some old ass videos, put them in YouTube Shorts. But a lot of people have been commenting shit, a lot of God of the Gaps arguments. First of all, my personal philosophy, I don't care if God exists or doesn't exist. There's no point in trying to prove he does. No point in trying to prove he doesn't.
Well, I'm an atheist.
If he does, I don't really give a shit. That's not what I'm interested in. But like the thing is, right, is like the fact that like I'm willing to be like, there's no way of knowing how the universe started right now because we're in the universe. You can't know the before of something you are currently a part of. Maybe one day there will be an answer, but there's no point right now.
And it's irrelevant.
My
thing
how
was
the universe
if
started.
I did find out that the God of the Bible was real, I'd want to assemble the Avengers to take this motherfucker down.
Right.
He's not a good guy.
He's got
He's
no
not
hand.
a good guy.
We do know how it started. If you bring up the Big Bang to them, they will say, well, who started the Big Bang? And then if you say it was always there, then they'll be like, well, then how can you say God doesn't exist and God wasn't always there?
No.
Man.
That's not the right answer. You don't say it's always there. The Big Bang happened because there was an infinitesimally small point of mass amounts of density of energy, and we went from a non-vacuum state to a vacuum state, and everything expanded.
But then they'll ask, where did that infinitesimal point of energy
say just
come
because
from?
I can't answer that question.
It's the God of
energy
gas.
can neither be created nor destroyed. So
Right.
Well, here's the thing, and here's what
they don't understand the laws of thermodynamics. So
they're not even
can't help
trying
them
to understand, and that's the disingenuous part. They pretend like they know things that they're not even trying to engage. They're not trying.
That's
to
what I was
understand
saying.
these
The pretending that they know things. That's the part that bugs me, and they get that from elders and priests. And so that quote that the world will not be a better place until the last priest's entrails are choking the last king.
Yes,
tyrant.
I love it.
But so here's the answer I give them when they try to put the God of a gas and they're like, well, where does the infinitesimal point of energy come from? I always say, my personal belief, I like to believe in the cyclical universe, the Big Bang, the Big Crunch, that over and over again. Everything's always existed. It's just changing states. However, I then go on to say, but that's my belief. I don't know that's what happened because there's no way of knowing the start of the beginning of everything. There's no way of knowing the end of the beginning of everything.
It's a popular hypothesis, right? And there is evidence that leads to that being a possibility.
We are looking for the answer.
Hold on, Mike, hold on. Let Neil go. We're having a very spirited discussion, but we're kind of talking over each other. So let's take.
Sorry. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting y'all.
No, it's cool. Neil, go ahead, and then Mike, you're next.
I'm just saying we there are multiple hypotheses for how the universe started, where it's going to go. Is it going to burn out in a heat death? Is it going to burn out in an ice death? Is it going to just keep going forever and ever and ever, and we're never going to eat? And eventually there will be generations way ahead of us that won't even know that there are other stars out there, that won't know there are other galaxies out there because they're beyond the redshift and they can't even see them.
Yeah,
like we've already seen galaxies disappear.
Yeah, we're
what we call the universe is the observable universe,
and it's only 5%.
Yeah, well, they don't know how much. They don't.
I heard it was 14.
That's a complete guess. They
Speculation.
Yeah,
and that's scary. Like, yikes.
They know there was a Big Bang because of the cosmic microwave background.
Right.
I think what they're talking about for the observable is there's just so much that is like literally blocked because we're so. Well,
other things.
So close.
No, it's anything within our visual range, anything within redshift.
Right. But we're so close to our parent galaxy that it obscures some things that there's just too much other shit. Right. So how do you look through it to see what's on the other side when the whole rest of the galaxy is in the way?
We have telescopes.
Well, I mean, that's just like what Neil was saying earlier. How do you be in the universe and then know the beginning of it? That's same conundrum with our galaxy.
Let me tell it, but not our solar system, our galaxy. Like our galaxy is like 120 million light years across, right? But if you want to see something that's literally got 120 million light years worth of shit in the way because it's edge onto the galaxy, that is what reduces some of our observable universe.
For sure. Yes.
Other shit in the way. And
I mean, that's a lot of stuff to see. That's a lot of stuff.
Hold on.
So if you think of like a water balloon or something like that, and if you put like some vertices, I was already doing my thing, and then you tried to stop me from doing my thing. But if you put
all interrupted Michael's turn, by the way.
All right. What? Go ahead, go.
Michael had a turn. Yeah, that's right.
He was supposed to go after Neil. Y'all just forgot about him. Y'all just left the man's down there.
I was only going to say that science works towards these things. Nothing religious ever does. It's always dogmatic for them. Everything is set in stone. Yeah, science changes. It finds new ideals and it moves forward. That's all I was going to say.
And just to piggyback on that, like I didn't really find meaning into life in my own personal life until I started approaching my life scientifically. And it was the most liberating thing I ever did. Is like all of a sudden life made fucking sense. The moment I was believing that there was like a God looking out for me, life fell apart and it kept falling apart and I couldn't figure out why. And in the moment I started paying attention and engaging life scientifically, it was like, oh, that's why that shit didn't work. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense now.
Starving and war-torn children, I get it now. It makes absolute sense.
Yes.
In a chaos universe.
Wow. Like that's a major statement, but that's 100% accurate. Yes, sir.
In a world with God, that wouldn't happen. I mean, it doesn't. It couldn't happen. It shouldn't.
It could not happen in a world with an all-loving, all-powerful God. But once you realize that there is no God, it's like, oh, okay, yeah. Entropy is a motherfucker.
I'm one of those that I like the end of the arguments all the way at the beginning. So like Epicurus, I don't know what fucking years he lived, but he's one of them old Greek dudes. And he slapped down the omnis way back then. He said there's no way a God can be all-knowing and all-powerful. Right. And so why are people still arguing? Yeah, why are people still arguing that today? Epicurus figured that out back in the
Well, the reason why, right? The reason why that people still make the God of the Three Omnis paradox try to make sense, right, is because they're so insular in their beliefs and in their community and their day-to-day lives, they ain't got nobody to challenge them on this shit. And then more people keep telling them. And now that we're all interconnected globally, going back to what I said earlier, now everyone's saying their dumbass opinions and convincing more like people who don't have any basis of fucking information, but they got faith, so they'll latch onto those ideas. And that's why we keep fighting the same fucking arguments. Like I've been on this platform since 2013, and I've probably talked about the blind watchmaker argument, the God of the Three Omnis paradox. I've talked about how DNA is not literal computer code. Millions of fucking
Tangelo.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Yeah, we had a guy who was saying that the DNA, because it has letters, and that means it was
Eric Hovind.
You know, it was a book then because it has letters, and I was like, "What's that?"
And I'm like,
I covered that video.
But you know, like there's certain things, and I don't know if it's just because of my sociological background that. There's certain things that I don't understand how people don't see are immediately biased, right? It's like there's a loop of bias. So when you say, oh, well, DNA looks like computer code, so they must be related. And it's like, well, no, this language that you've created to describe DNA and this language that you've created to describe computer code are related because they both come from you. And so this correlation that you think that you're seeing doesn't actually exist there the way that you think you're seeing it.
Right.
But it's always amazing to me.
The thing is like we use these analogies like DNA is like a code or it's like the library behind stuff. We use these again to like frame our very chaotic, not very consistent, very improbable existence. Our day-to-day lives is filled with anomalies and outliers. There's never going to be an exact rule of law towards literally fucking anything, and you will always find an exception. But we use these concrete, easily to define, easily to process terms and analogies. And like atheists will be glad to admit, okay, these analogies are inherently flawed, but stay with me because it's going to help it make sense. Whereas Christians will take them in a literal direction because it supports their very hard-lined, very narrow, very everything is exactly how God made it perfectly worldview.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if there was different versions of science? Like there's like the Einstein version of science. Then there's like the Isaac Newton version, and then
I only subscribe to Diogenean science.
But you know, like
James
I love the phraseology you use there because you said this very narrow world view that Christians tend to have. But that's the worldview that Jesus commands them to have, because he tells them that narrow is the way.
The way, yeah.
This is that's that world, that the Christian worldview is a very narrow worldview. He literally warns them to don't have a broad worldview, because the broad is the way that leads to destruction. Narrow is the way. God damn, you just cracked the code.
See, I don't even know how.
That is also something that was instilled on the Jehovah's Witness, that you don't have to believe in your own knowledge ever. Like, that's
Ever.
a no. Yeah.
Leo Tangeloans. There's somebody on the internets there that I know of as Chocolate Chip, and she's Jewish, and she just goes on all day long and pokes fun at the Christians trying to read into old Jewish scripture. And she's just like, you guys all got it wrong. It wasn't meant for you. This doesn't mean that. And it's fun watching her just
Michael.
Chippy's funny.
Michael, I've been reading your emails, and they really mean a lot to me. You know what I mean? Like, I have to really just, even though we're both Michaels, I just read your emails, sent to you, and I'll read them and really extract some meaning about my day-to-day life, about your emails written to a totally different Michael. I'll just take them on as
beautiful.
mine.
That was
Mikey over here reading Michael's emails, just like, oh, I got a job opportunity.
That was classic. That should have been a whole skit.
Yes, I would like to renew my warranty on my car. Collect.
Tom Selleck, reverse mortgage. I'm sold.
There is hot singles in my area.
Yeah.
I can add 6 inches to my penis.
Another
Soon it'll be 7 inches.
I like experiments. I'm down for that type of foolishness.
Well, now
I have
So, just so you know, you guys, we were talking about earlier, the way to see through all the nuts and bolts of our universe, our galaxy, all the smeary stuff, is infrared, and there have been 2 satellites doing that for a long time, so we can see long past our galaxy through infrared, through the the Derby and the Kobe satellites and cameras.
And Chandra too.
Chandra, it's that's relatively new, but they've had Derby for quite a while. Reading the infrared. That's what the IR in Derby, DIRBE, actually stands for, infrared. So.
Which one did is JWST to replace Hubble?
Yeah, but JWST does all the whole spectrum from ultraviolet to infrared to red.
Well, the great observatories, like JWST is swapping out for Hubble. They got like the next 2 for the other ones, but Chandra is the one that's not getting. It didn't get any money. So
no, and it's doing what it's supposed to do, so they don't need to replace it quite yet.
Well, it's gonna turn off in a while. Like we got to replace it, or else it's what I mean. We don't have a ride up there, and we don't have enough money to build the experiments yet. So we might lose Chandra, and then we'll have no eyes in the X-ray spectrum.
we need to send up something to blow up Elon.
They'll send something else up in time.
I hope.
Well, no,
they may not turn
I
off
have a
Chandra.
Theory. I have an hypothesis, rather, not a theory. And my hypothesis is that, like right now, and it's a natural trend, is that atheism is sort of spreading, kind of like wildfire.
Oh, yeah.
And not even, it's not something that just happened overnight. It's actually been a trajectory since the dawn of our species, since the dawn of consciousness. There's actually been a regression of theism. We begin as very pluralistic in our ideas about divinity and deities. I'm gonna make that up. That's my word. Nobody else claims it.
My word, deities. Mine.
and so we move from polytheism to monotheism, and then even in our monotheism, we move from this external God to this internal God, and then even from that personal internal God, we shifted towards atheism. Not as if atheism is something new. It's always been with
It's
us,
not.
but now it's getting stronger and stronger. It's becoming more normal among us, where it's a part of our evolutionary existence. At
They
this
also forgot animism.
That's it, and that's where it starts. It really starts with animism. It's animism before pluralism.
I haven't seen
It's
that.
anthropomorphizing stuff. Is what it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
My personal,
Because that's a part of our pattern seeking. You know, because of course animals are the first thing we know. And so when we see patterns, we recognize them, and it's no different than an infant. An infant in today's term, everything they see are no different than a baby bird. The first thing it sees, regardless of what it is going to imprint on it as if it's its mother. And that's kind of like the same thing we did with the world around us. And the earliest things we saw were animals. And so that's that animism thing, that this animism idea is our origin.
from my
the elephants or the wisdoms of the forest.
From my perspective, I'd say a lot of the people that are my generation and younger are really less spiritual. And even if they say they're Christian, they don't say they're like a denomination or like anything like that. They just say, "Oh, I just believe in a higher power and an esoteric spiritual connectiveness." Because a lot of people my age, right? Like we grew up with like some groundbreaking science and like the older Gen Z, younger millennial era, especially throughout like the 90s and mid 2000s, where we were learning so much new shit about our existence and our place in this world, that quite literally, like, you just see like all of the stuff we learn is too fluid for a rigid worldview like classical taught
it doesn't make
Christianity.
sense,
you know. That's why like
globalization has been the nail in the coffin. Globalization has been the nail in the coffin.
But that started so long ago. I mean, you're talking about Einstein. You're talking about the beginnings of tiny, quantum, looking at the quantum world.
Yes. It's been a work in progress. And that's why I say it's not like it's been something overnight. This has been like the only reason I'm probably an atheist today, especially as a black man in Alabama, is because it's more comfortable today than it was a few hundred years ago. And the only way that could be so is if the numbers statistically had increased. And that is the case. The number statistically has increased. There are more of us today than there were of us 100 years ago, which makes it more comfortable for somebody like me to come out and say, "Yeah, I don't believe in God."
I have we're getting the time to wrap it up thing. So I have a final high thought for everybody to blaze one more time and think on very deeply. Are humans the reason the anthropomorphic idea exists?
Yes.
But folded in on itself.
What?
Why?
We're here to know that we exist. And the only reason we know that we exist is because we survived long enough to a point of evolution so that we know that we exist.
Self-awareness.
So now what?
Well, see, like
I don't know where you're going with this. I'm confused.
I don't know either.
We never had a plan to be self-aware.
Yeah,
that's irrelevant.
Life is just fine, but as soon as we became self-aware, that's when the problem started.
We've been self-aware since we've been here.
I see self-awareness as a consequence of having enough information to think about.
Large enough brain.
That's it. Like,
it's an inherent property of a large enough brain.
And that's why we're cursed.
There are many animals that are self-aware as well, and their brains are large enough for that to be that way.
And it only seems problematic for us because we can think about it.
Yeah,
right.
Because we think that we're being problematic.
And that's the problem.
It's just a consequence. It's just
right.
Life. It's just reality. It's just like, oh. But I think a part of the sickness of humans is that many of us are still wrestling with this presupposition of this divine, orchestrated, designed world, and that creates the wrestling. that this world has been designed to operate in a certain way.
Nope.
And it's like, well, if it works in a certain way, why does this happen? But the moment you separate yourself from that, it's like, oh, okay, shit just happens. That's
it wasn't designed this way.
Right?
We had everything possible to make it end up this way.
All right, I think I blazed it enough to figure out what y'all are talking about. Reject humanity, evolve to crab.
Tune in next week to find out what the answer is.
42.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna Carsonize. Okay, I'm just gonna turn into a crab. I'm gonna waddle my ass back into the Florida briny depths, and I'm just gonna
we'll do it
up with
this
Sebastian
way.
or some shit.
We'll do it this way. Neil's got to go to bed, but if you guys want to link to the after party, it is Marijuanzaka. So if you guys want to come blaze and talk about the deeper mysteries of the universe, I will be sitting here hanging out for a little bit.
Yeah, I got to get my ass to bed because I take my mom out every Sunday. So it's
Happy
really
4.
Oh, that's
20.
beautiful. Yeah, I love that.
She's out of the hospital, and it's time to take her out again. So
yes.
All right. So thanks everyone in the chats for hanging out with us over on Twitch and YouTube there. Also, thanks to our amazing patrons. Show's nothing without you guys. So thank you for all you do. If you missed the original interview, there's a link to it in the description box below, which has all the links for our wonderful guest Darante. All of his work is linked there as well. All right. So that's it. I'm kind of tired, so I'm going to go to bed.
4:20.
All right,
Yeah,
Happy 420,
Happy
everybody.
420.
Happy 420.
Remember this Stephanie
Watch
has to make it
Disjointed on Netflix.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Disjointed, yeah.
I haven't seen that.
All right. I guess you'll have to do the last banner there, Mickey. Until next time, guys, like I always say at the end of the after parties, like the late, great Carl Sagan once said, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Woohoo. Peace.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Both
Bye.
crab.